Ndị be anyị ndewonu. Ọ bụ Ada Igbo na-ekwu na Igbo Media. N'Igbo Media, anyị na-ewetara unu ọtụtụ ozi gbasara ihe na-emegasị na Biafra land, n'ala Igbo na mba ndị ọzọ. N'ụbọchị nke taata, o nwere ihe bịara n'iru akwụkwọ anyị nke anyị ga-agụpụtara unu n'ụbọchị taa. Anyị gụpụtachaa ya, unu egee ya ka ọha n'uju. Ị ga-esie ya, ị drọpụọla your comment, like kwa this our video and gbasakwa ya ka o ruo ụmụnna anyị n'ebe dị iche iche arụ. Ozi anyị wetara unu tata si n'aka otu nwanne anyị nwoke, a Biafra activist, werute anyị aka. Ọ dere sị: Nigerian government panics as Biafra wins big. The truth is finally out. The real reason they are afraid of Igbo Presidency. This will shock you. Ya bụ ozi ka anyị ji bịa tata na Igbo Media. Ị ga-esi ya bụ ozi, gbaa mbọ gwa anyị iche na comment section ma mekwa ka ozi a rute ụmụnna anyị n'ebe dị iche iche aka. Ngwa gere ya ka ọha n'uju.
There is a deliberate agreement that an Igbo man should not be president of this country. You know, I've asked this question some time ago and I said, is there a place where an agreement was reached that, look, an Igbo man should not be president? Because when you look at the whole scenarios from the comment made by Sheikh Jingir, Yaya Jingir, saying that it was Peter Obi that unalived Saldana, and then if you watch the deliberate ploy of the cabal to inject Goodluck Jonathan into the race so as to split the vote, even though Peter Obi has made it simple by telling you that I'm going to run one term, Atiku is also saying I'm going to run one term. Now, I don't want to talk about Atiku. I really don't want to dwell on Atiku because the respect I have for Atiku, the love I have for him, it's gradually waning. In Atiku, I see a man that sees the world around himself and his ambition. At one point in PDP, you said you're not going to run if the ticket is zoned to the southeast. That was a lie. Because right now, Ewike is no longer in ADC. You know, let me use this opportunity again to talk to our politicians from the South. It appears anytime they want to, debunk these statements. And I don't want to talk about Rotimi Amechi because that one to me has always been a sellout for a very long time ago. Imagine a Rotimi Amechi also thinking that the last video I saw, he was talking about popularity, comparing his popularity and Peter Obi. You know, we've become so corrupt. We've become so corrupt to the extent that we have accepted corruption as a way of life. So much so that when somebody comes and say, I am not corrupt, it's really very difficult for people to say, we do have people that are not corrupt. When somebody says, I'm going to do one term, knowing fully well that the South has an extra one term to go based on the morality of the rotation, you said no, it's not like because you don't trust him. Now because you are sure that constitutionally Jonathan has only one term, you trust a Jonathan more because you know that if you are in the same position as Peter Obi, you will turn around and do otherwise. You see, Nigeria is a complex dynamic that if you try to wrap your head around it, you might just get some sort of migraine. That's why they said, if they explain Nigeria to you and you say you understand them, the best way explain them to you, not explain them well. So who is afraid of an Igbo president or an Igbo presidency? Who is afraid? I'll tell you the people that are afraid of an Igbo presidency. You know, Nigeria seems to be a hurdle, or a relay that the baton of leadership is somehow agreed that it will be exchanged by the Northwest and Southwest. Northwest rule, when you say, okay, it's turn of the South, it's Southwest. It's turn of the North, Northwest. It's turn of the South, Southwest. This nonsense has been going on for a very long time, and because we've kept quiet and looked the other way, they think it has come to stay. No. Now, I am very sure that a bit of this government will upset that devilish system that suggests some ethnicities are superior to other ethnicities, that suggests power must be rotated between two regions, northwest and southwest. I know very well that a country as big as Nigeria cannot have just one seaport as a gateway of goods entering the country just in Lagos alone. No. I know that a Ekpa Obi will definitely, that I'm very sure, will definitely open the Calabar and Warri seaports. Definitely, I'm sure about that. And people who have been so greedy and selfish will not want that to happen. Those who are making tons of money from Californium, from the mineral resources in the north, trying to, sustain the unrest in the north so that monies will be voted to them every day. A corrupted military, a corrupted security outfit, and all these things will be changed. Our judiciaries will be reformed. INEC will be, in fact, there are so many thieves in so many places that they are fighting to enable the system that will sustain their thievery. Their corrupt attitude, their nefarious corrupt attitude, they want the system to remain so that they continue doing what they are doing. You got me? So, I'm not saying an Igbo presidency based on ethnicity will change everything. But hey, we had a civil war where we said there was no victor and there was no vanquished. How come it appears some people have agreed that Igbos in Nigeria should remain vanquished? That's what this thing is all about. If they are Nigerians, then they have the same right. If they are Nigerians, they have the same right every Nigerian has. So why is there some sort of concerted effort to make sure that they are reduced to spectators in a country that they carry your passport? Getting all forms of excuse that they will break. If Nigeria is working, nobody's going to talk about Biafra. If Nigeria is fair and just to everybody, nobody's going to talk about secession. So this idea that an Igbo presidency will break Nigeria apart, this is not a country they keep together the way it is. Is this a country that ordinarily they should keep together, where people steal billions of naira and they are not jailed, yet somebody steal 2 million, he's jailed? Very recently, somebody just fought in an aircraft, she's jailed, but somebody who disrupted a whole operation of the air transport is free at home. You see, we cannot create this double standard. It has to take somebody with a view of making things work to become president, not people who will grab and snatch and run away with ballots, not criminals parading themselves as strategists only to be president and sustain the same corruption empire. We don't want it. So who is afraid of an Igbo presidency? I've heard the word Igbophobia, and I thought it was just a mere word that was just coined, but it really does exist. It does exist, because I was a victim too. Just hating the people because everybody's hating make me self-hate. No. If you don't want them to be part of this country, then let them go. And if they go, we too will go. Others will go, and then those who claim they own Nigeria come and rule the country you want. It's a pity that this country, we are inhuman. Well, 2027 will be a defining moment for this country. To be a defining moment. Whether we are going to be one, 2027 will decide it. Whether there are some people who believe that this country, they own it, they decide what and where and how the country should be, we will know. We will know. But we assure you, especially, let me use the final part of this video to speak to INEC. If you think what you did in 2023, you can repeat it again, I can assure you that the consequences that will meet any form of rigging, any form of manipulation, better fly your children out of this country. You better fly your children out of this country, or your loved one, anybody related to you. And so with the judiciary. If you know you are going to do those things you did where you say cameras should not point at you, better fly your loved one, because you're going to set this country ablaze. We are not asking for anything more. We are just asking for things to be done right. How bad is that? At least that is our fundamental human right. That's our fundamental right as citizens, for government to provide for us what is right and just. Abi no be so? You know, I've been looking at events leading to the 2027 general election, and I must say that things are happening faster and earlier than we have anticipated. Before now, election campaigns or election anxieties would have started long before now, but it appears the mischief and greed, in fact, the whole narrative leading to the 2027 election has a twisted perspective or a twisted irony associated with it. And I will need you to be patient and hear me out. Everything I'm going to say is allegedly, and they might be a figment of my own imagination, but hey, perhaps if you pay a close attention, you might just understand where I'm coming from, right? Okay. Now, we've always said Fulani Islamization. Nigeria, there are people bent on Islamizing Nigeria. So I've been thinking, suppose we are describing the narrative using the wrong words. Suppose it is actually a Fulanization agenda and not an Islamization agenda. Islam to me is just like a peg. You know, when you wash your clothes and you anticipate there's going to be wind, you use peg to hold your clothes on the line so that the winds does not take your clothes away. Suppose Islam is merely a peg that is aimed at holding you together so that the wind does not take your ideology away. You see, the most difficult thing to re-educate is an ideology. Now, suppose we replace the idea or the apprehension that there are people that want to Islamize Nigeria to there are people that want to Fulanize Nigeria. And by Fulanizing is by redirecting the instrument of power to the hands of the Fulanis. Now, let me take you to a small journey. Part of this journey I had described before. During Jonathan and Buhari, remember the infamous statement that the dogs and the baboons will be soaked in blood. And Jonathan, at that time, Southwest media have already described him as a weak, drunkard, sheep, and all the negative narrative. I don't want to go back so that I don't elongate this video longer than it is necessary. But we all know, right? Okay. Then Buhari came into power. Remember all the cattle ranch, all the ruga, all the livestock, whatever, and all the nomenclatures invented just to establish the Fulani.
Ngwano dalo nineno umunnem dikun sinesera ni Igbo media. Gini kunu wali ikwu na nkọwa nke unu. Gbasta maka ihe nno n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi nke taa. Gwa ya ife iche n'ụdị nke gị. Deela ya n'akara kọmentị ka mara ihe i chere. Ma chetakwa tụsa ya bụ ozi ka o were ụmụnne anyị ndị ọzọ ntị. Ndewo na ụmụnne m ka emesịa nụ.